Wednesday, December 11th, 2019. My apologies for the late start. For San Francisco, we have a little bit of drama from time to time. Some of the packets were not delivered, so my apologies to my colleagues. But we may do. And just for members of the public, we normally have agendas available to you. The agenda, this is City College, so, luckily we have a chalkboard that has what we're going to be doing today, beginning with the call to order, the approval of the agenda that's before you, the minutes from the last board meeting of the Central Committee, public comment, which is probably the most important part of the evening, is what I hear from you. Reports from the offices, which actually we're going to hold over to the next meeting, unless there's any objection. And then we're going to go through the endorsement process, beginning with official candidates, seats 1, 18, and 21. And then we're going to go through the ballot.
Member Mahogany, Member Mandolin, Member Maxwell, here. Member
I'm voting the proxy.
Member Souza,
Here.
Member Walton,
Here.
Member Feinstein,
I think the proxy's on your way.
Member Pelosi, Member Spear, Member Kounalakis,
Present.
Member Ma,
Present.
Member Cohen,
Present.
Member Weiner,
Here.
Member Ting,
Here.
and Member Chu.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. So motion by Duffy, seconded by Maxwell. Can we take that without objection? Without objection, the agenda is approved. Thank you. The next item is the approval of the minutes of the last meeting of the Democratic County Central Committee. The minutes were actually sent to you for your review. Are there any changes to those minutes? Move approval by Duffy. Is there a second? Second by. Can we take that without objection? Without objection, the agenda, the minutes of the last meeting of the DCCC is approved. We'll now move on to item number 4, and this is actually a very important item, and as you know, tonight is our endorsement meeting. It's one of the most important things that we as a body do. And before we make actual votes, we want to give San Francisco Democrats an opportunity to speak to us. And so a number of you signed up on a speakers list, and so I'm going to begin by going down the list on that of speakers that signed up on that list, and then there are a number of cards that were filled out subsequently. And please note there are more cards right there for you to fill out if you would like to speak, and if you can please pass them along. And what we would ask is actually that one, if you can please line up in the center aisle. And as soon as your next is coming up and speak, and we do want you to speak into the mic because we are live streaming this meeting because we want Democrats who are watching at home to be able to see the proceedings. The last point is that each of you has 2 minutes to speak. And so we would ask you, as a matter of fairness, to please stick to your time limit. We want every person to have the same amount of time. And here we have member Sarah Souza, who is here to give you a warning about how much time you have left. Each of you will get 2 minutes, and then she will warn you on when you have a minute, 30 seconds, and that's it. So with that, let me call the first set of speakers. Angela Ho, and I apologize if I don't pronounce the name properly. Ron Stickle.
And all I could say about her is she is the most wonderful person I've ever known. And with her humanistic nature that she has, and also a people person, she will do tremendous greatness to the community. And ever since she has moved into my neighborhood, she has made so much changes in terms of positive changes. And that neighborhood and that community has becoming so welcoming and warm. And if you know her as a person, she would greet anyone that walked past her as long as you would have an eye contact with her. And I believe with her background as an immigrant, and I myself as an immigrant as well, she has gone through so much hardship that I'm sure, you know, as a judge, she will be able to do greatness to our society. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
My name is Ron Stickle. I am Director of Justice Services at Sunset Youth Services. I typically spend most of my time working on the side of the defense attorneys. So the question would come up, why am I supporting a district attorney for the position of a judge? I'm here to support Ronnie Singh. And that is because I have known and worked with Ronnie for 15 years, known her for 20 years, worked with her for 15 years, beginning at juvenile hall. And the things I have seen her do are nothing short but extremely progressive. She has, the work she has done in juvenile hall has been some of the work that has been leading to where even we are now in the justice reform. The work she did, the reason I met her is because as a DA, she was reaching out, trying to find ways to salvage the lives of those that have been traumatized. I've never heard her ask the question. I haven't seen her break the law, bend the law as a DA, but I've seen her bend over backwards to try to help the lives of those that have been traumatized and have made the decisions or been accused of making the decisions that have got them to the place that they are. I'll tell you quickly, since this is super quick, a couple of the youth that I work with who are, of course, defendants in young adult court, when they found out she was running, asked if they could get signs. In fact, there are people, one of them who I know I have talked to, who is beginning to talk about the struggles they were having with the temptations to make choices again that would take them back to the wrong road, said, I've got to talk to Miss Singh. I need to find her. She is the one who truly is all about making the change in the lives of these youth on both sides of the bench. I believe in her integrity. I believe in her authenticity. And that is what is a non-negotiable for me. Is she progressive? Absolutely.
Thank you very much. I know we have a number of judges, and we welcome our members of the judiciary for being here. So Peter Bush, Harold Kahn, Karen Lee, Jeff Ross, Shahid Latar. Go ahead, ma'am. Thank you. Go ahead.
Good evening, my name is Xochitl Carrion. I am currently a board member of Horizon Foundation as well as the California Barraza Lawyers Association. I currently, in my capacity, also work at the District Attorney's Office as a prosecutor in our Independent Investigations Bureau, which looks at police misconduct and any prosecutorial misconduct. I'm here to ask you to let the people decide. I don't know how many of you today have already decided who you're voting to. And I want to call on each and every one of you, especially those of you who have challenged cronyism in the city and county of San Francisco, to reevaluate why you would vote as a political machine. I would like you to consider Ronnie Singh. And the reason why is because she has been in the forefront. She has been forward-thinking about what progressive criminal justice looks like. Before there was a term of progressive DAs. She has done tenants work on the civil side. She's also had given her civil contribution, civil service as a prosecutor here in the city of county in San Francisco, where she is a native to. And I have worked directly under her as someone in the domestic violence program, someone who's is committed to it not only because I believe in justice, because my mother was murdered by my father and was a victim of domestic violence. I was able to see her show compassion and respect to all parties involved, everyone. She has earned the respect, 20 plus years of earning the respect as a woman of color in the criminal justice system from both defense and both prosecutors, because she has thought about what is just, what is right, and more importantly, on top of the thousands upon thousands of court appearances, she has displayed judicial judgment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Good evening. My name is Raymond Ross. I'm the president of the San Francisco Brown Bombers, a community-based organization serving youth of 4 to 15 years old here in the city. I'm actually a native of San Francisco, but in my professional capacity, I work in the San Francisco District Attorney's Office for 32 years. I have seen prosecutors come and go. And when I think about progressive values, I think about who are the beneficiaries of progressive values. Usually it's people that are marginalized, people of color, people of different sexual orientations. When you consider that, I think that the type of person that I want to be able to affect change and give positive impact to those folks, I would want a person with high integrity. I would want a person who is dedicated. I would want a person who is compassionate. I would want a person that you can work with for 20 years, which I have, and haven't seen this person have a bad day. I would want someone who not only does their job on a professional level, but takes her job and expounds the bounds all the way to the community, working with our youth, interacting with our school districts, teaching our kids about the criminal justice system, one, so they know it as an educational perspective, but two, so they can understand what happens if you make the wrong choices. I would want a person whose impact stretches past San Francisco, but affects the entire state of California. Notice that I didn't mention a name. That's what I would want in my person as a judge, someone who's going to give considerable respect to the bench. And that person just happens to be Ronnie Singh. And I urge you here today to think about supporting the progressive person that will help build San Francisco and take care of those people who have been marginalized. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to read a few more names. Folks Williams, Carolyn Gold. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. My name is Brendan Schuchart, and I am privileged to be here speaking on behalf of Michelle Tong for judge. I have a couple statements from people who couldn't be here. The first is from Manu Raju, our newly elected public defender. Michelle Tong would make an excellent judge. One of the hardest workers whom I know, she has worked skillfully and empathetically in the trenches of the Hall of Justice for over a decade, and has earned the respect of both her colleagues and clients. As a talented attorney who has tried over 55 jury trials, she is highly qualified to preside over complex jury trials. Also, as a bilingual daughter of immigrants who is very comfortable in multicultural settings, she would bring deeply needed cultural competency to the bench. This and her legal acumen, people skills, and experience with all of the justice partners would prove invaluable as she transitions from advocate to judge. Without reservation, I encourage this committee to endorse Michelle Tong. The other one is from Rudy Corpez, Executive Director of the United Players. I truly believe in Michelle as being nominated as a judge. She is the most qualified and certified person in this position. I support her 100%. I mean that, girl. That's from the heart. You're amazing in real life. We need someone like you who has a heart of compassion and understanding. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Michelle Tong. I'm running for our open seat 18. I want to thank each each and every one of you for allowing me this opportunity to come before you. I've met many of you, and some of it I have not. And so this is my opportunity to address those that I have not met, and also to remind the ones that I have to support me. I will be a public defender in San Francisco for 16 years. I've dedicated over 20 years of my life, my adult legal career, to serving the city and county of San Francisco and all San Franciscans. And that's it, just this city. And I will continue to do that if I am selected to be the next member of the judiciary. Before I was a public defender for 16 years, my life started when I fell in love with the Asian Law Caucus and helping immigrants, victims of domestic violence, and tent and restaurant workers. And I didn't stop there. After law school, I worked for tenants' rights at the Eviction Defense Collaborative for 2 years, helping tenants who were being removed from their homes, who did not have a lawyer. I helped them advocate for themselves and empower themselves and have access to the courts and learn how to file papers on their own. I have now tried over 55 jury trials to verdict. I've spoken to thousands of San Francisco residents. I am a San Francisco resident myself. I live in District 1, Supervisor Fewer's district, and I am the only San Francisco resident that is in this race, in my race. So thank you all. I would ask that you all endorse me, and thank you so much.
Thank you. We have two more names, Linda Colfax and Jordan Davis.
I echo what Michelle Tom said about being grateful to be here. I also want to highlight that we girls are ruling this because all 6 candidates for the 3 open seats are women. And that's only possible in San Francisco. So I'm really proud to be part of that history. But I'm also really proud that my candidacy exemplifies all that's great about our democratic values. I'm a war refugee from Vietnam. I'm lucky to have survived and made it to the Midwest. My parents worked as janitors and housekeepers to raise us 7 kids. It is our democratic values that I had a public education, that I had affirmative action allow me to go to law school, that I had people say, you too belong, Pang. I'm going to make room for you. That is why I'm able to stand here today before you as a lawyer and as a commissioner of our San Francisco. I've had the pleasure of working and serving our people from all walks of life. Pro-pers, non-binary, LGBTQ, disabled, undocumented, elderly. I've worked with everyone. And I've worked with them because I know it's important that when they see a judge, that she is fair, that she sees them and knows that they are deserving of being treated equally and fairly under the law. And I want to continue that because you are all my neighbors and you're all my bosses. Now, and if I'm elected as judge, you will still be my bosses. So it is important that you support me, that you allow me to represent all the immigrants who have come to this country and added to the democratic values. And that is, no matter who you are or where you come from, you belong here, you deserve equal treatment under the law.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Your Honor, welcome.
Thank you, Chairman Campos and members. I'm Peter Bush. I'm the current holder of Judicial Seat Number 1, and I'm here in support of Commissioner Pang Lee as a successor for that job. Pang is already an outstanding judicial officer. She is working in civil settlements where it's a very difficult task to bring together folks with disparate positions. Her ability to do that, the demonstration of her intelligence, her bridge building ability, and her hard work. It's through hard work and diligence that she has such a successful record there. And making her a judge, as I hope the voters will do and that you will support, will only give her a greater opportunity to serve the court and the people of San Francisco. Of course, she does have a compelling personal story, as she's just explained to you. She's pulled herself up by the bootstraps with hard work and diligent effort. and persistence, qualities that will serve her very well in her role as judge. So I'm going to urge you tonight to vote for her and endorse her, or at least give the voters an opportunity to do that without an endorsement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron.
Good evening.
If you may speak into the mic, please, so that...
I will do so. Thank you, Mr. Campos. My name's Harold Kahn. I've been a judge of the San Francisco Superior Court for over 18 years. For 10 of those years, I've had the great pleasure to work with Pang Lee on an almost daily basis. I was one of the people who hired Pang. We were in the days when San Francisco had the largest asbestos docket west of the Mississippi River. Thousands of cases. And for years and years, those cases had been backlogging the court. Well, with Pang's enormous effort, we brought them under control. Injured workers who had suffered tremendously with their exposure to asbestos got their cases settled, and got them settled quickly because of the extraordinary work of Pang Lee. Tens of thousands of jurors that would have otherwise had to come to court to participate in jury selection avoided that. And I could tell you they were happy to do so, because so many people are unhappy having to come to jury selection in San Francisco Superior Court only to be excused midway in the trial. But all of that was avoided because of the excellent work of Pang Lee. She is the very model of an excellent judicial officer. I can attest to that by working with her on a daily basis for 10 years. She has all the attributes of being an excellent judge, and she has them today, and she's demonstrated them for the last 10 years. I urge you to support Pang Lee, not because she's the progressive candidate for judge or the moderate candidate for judge, because she is the qualified, ethical, and judicious candidate for judge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, welcome back.
Thank you. My name
You
is
can
Jeff
speak
Ross.
into the mic, Mr.
Yes.
Your Honor.
My name is Jeff Ross. I met many of you last March in 2018. I want to thank you for your endorsement. And I also want to thank you for your commitment to San Francisco and to the voters. But I also want to echo what Xochitl Carrion said. This is an unusual election. I was a loud applauder when everyone noticed that we finally have 6 women running for these positions. And we're proud of our diversity on our San Francisco Superior Court. You've heard about Pang Lee, but I don't think many of you have met her. I know many of you have already endorsed her opponent. I know many of you are committed tonight to voting for her opponent, but I urge you to reconsider. I urge you to take politics out of this. This is a political organization, but being a judge is not. It is never political. It should never be political. You should evaluate every one of us on our qualifications, on our background, on our expertise. Now, her opponent has argued that we should have more diversity on our court, and I support that. She would be the first refugee on our court. She would be the first Vietnamese American, Chinese American on our court. We have many judges like myself who are the children of refugees, the children of immigrants. I am one of those people. But we don't have anyone who has lived that life, and she would be that person. But that's not why you should support her. You should support her because she's been an excellent bench officer. She is smart, she is hardworking, she is fair, and she is independent. And after all, that's what you want in a judge. You want someone who's independent. I urge you not to endorse anyone. Give the voters the chance. There have been complaints in the past that politicians have taken control. Give the voters a chance. Don't support one or the other, but get to know her. And when you get to know her, you'll know why we are so impassioned in our support of Pang Lee for Superior Court Judge for seat number 1. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, and I'm going to read a couple more names. Dorothy Chow Proudfoot and Ronnie Singh.
Thank you, David. My name is Shahid Buttar. I'm here this evening to speak on behalf of a few of the judicial candidates who have dedicated their careers to the public interest. That's particularly Michelle Tong and Maria Evangelista, longtime public defenders, as well as Carolyn Gold, who has defended tenants across the city from eviction. Just on one theme that I hear emerging with respect to inclusion on the bench and in positions of leadership, as an immigrant seeking to represent our proud city in the House of Representatives, I certainly recognize the importance of having a diverse bench. It's one reason why I think Michelle and Maria in particular are worth highlighting in that dimension. I don't really have a thing to stump with respect to myself, but I will just introduce myself. I'm eager to get to know each of you over the next several months, and an open invitation to anybody here. We'd love to see all of you at our office opening party next Monday, the 16th. We're taking over Chesa Boudin's old office in the Mission, and Dean Preston and Chesa will both be addressing the crowd there. We'd love to see you, and thanks again for having me this evening.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, my name is Henry Morales. I'm a co-founder of Homey, worked there for 10 years. I also work at the Central American Research Center for another 8 years, and I also now work at the Youth Adult Court Program with the Goodwill. I am a big advocate of releasing young people and getting them out of the system. I have fought tremendously with judges and DAs and everybody that gets in the way of getting kids out of cages, because I don't believe that is the remedy to the symptom of poverty, the symptom of oppression that we have here in these communities of San Francisco. So in my years of experience of working with advocacy, the most qualified person that I would feel compelling in my heart felt that who should be in this position is Ronnie Singh. I have worked with her tremendously with so many young people, where she has helped our young people out, where she believed in the models of change. We look at the prison to pipeline, the educational pipeline. We look at Black Lives Matter. We look at all these movements, all these social movements, and they're only going to matter when we have someone that's willing to put their foot down and create change. We're seeing that change right now at Youth Adult Court. I've seen that change with her at Juvenile Hall, and as an individual, I have seen the transformation she has helped with these young people. I've seen her talk to kids in the neighborhood on 24th Street and tell them about their rights and what they shouldn't be doing. And I've seen her in this position to really help kids, really help young people. And I think that's what matters most. When we look at how we want to administer justice, when we look at justice reform and the changes we want to see, I see Ronnie Singh. And I hope that you see that too, and think about how justice is administered to our youth, to our kids that are the majority that get picked on, because they're not arresting the kids from Forest Hill and the avenues. They're arresting the kids all from East Side San Francisco. And we need a judge that's going to be there for those reforms and those changes that's going to support our kids. So yes, I'm here to support Ronnie Singh, and I hope that you do too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Hope Williams, and first and foremost, I would like to thank each and every one of you for taking the many calls and enduring this endorsement season. My experience thus far began as an intern in City Hall and the campaign organizer for Supervisor-elect Dean Preston. I am proud to be here today as the campaign manager for two women, Carolyn Gold and Gloria Berry. I'll tell you why I decided to work for these two amazing women. Many of you know Gloria, a woman of color, a veteran, a single mother, and someone who has actually experienced homelessness. Sorry, my phone's crazy. She has dedicated her life to advocate unapologetically for what she believes in. And then there's Carolyn Gold, who's been a tenants' rights attorney for over 30 years. Her record and endorsers speak directly to what we in this progressive movement have fought for. And I'll keep that one short and let her tell you why she should be the Superior Court Judge for C21. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Gold. I'm running for seat 21 on the San Francisco Superior Court. I was hoping that Hope would have said it all and I wouldn't have to say anything else. But first and foremost, I too want to thank everybody for all the effort and energy you all put into this and for sitting here tonight, probably for a long evening. I am asking for your support for my candidacy for the San Francisco Superior Court bench. I would be the first tenants' rights attorney, probably in the state of California, to become a judge. We cannot rely on a governor ever to appoint a tenants' rights attorney to the bench, so this is the opportunity for the people to be able to have a tenants' rights attorney on the bench. I want to tell you that I currently run the Right to Counsel program, which was passed last year, Proposition F, at the lead agency, the Eviction Defense Collaborative, and I oversee 9 nonprofits. Prior to this, I ran a settlement conference project for the Bar Association of San Francisco, where I oversaw 10,000 settlements in eviction cases, where I trained and brought volunteer attorneys to the settlement conferences to represent people with real problems being dragged into court, and try to resolve the issue before their trial. I am very well respected by both the tenant bar and the landlord bar, and I am proud to be endorsed by Matt Haney and Dean Preston and Raphael.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm going to call a few more names. Herman Holland, Michael Wilson, and Brian Conley. Your Honor, welcome back.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for allowing us all to speak. It's good to see you. This is my 3rd time appearing before you all. My name is Linda Colfax, and the first time I appeared is when I was seeking your endorsement 10 years ago now. I then appeared again. It's now a little over a year, and I'm here tonight because I've been asked, and I'm honored to speak on behalf of Michelle Tong and Ronnie Singh, both of whom I support without any reservation and great enthusiasm. I have known both of them for over 15 years, both when I was as an attorney, working at the Hall of Justice because I was a public defender, and as a judge because they have appeared in front of me on cases. Michelle and I worked together at the Public Defender's Office for many years, and I can attest to her tireless work ethic. She was there later than everyone. She arrived earlier. I know that because there were a few of us who were always there, and she was one of them. Ronnie and I fought battles together, and I could always count on Ronnie to be ethical and be prepared. They've both appeared in front of me as attorneys since I've been a judge. Michelle tried a very serious, long, must have been over 2 months, I think it lasted the entire summer, case before me. And Ronnie has made a number of appearances in front of me as well, both in felonies and misdemeanors. They both have incredible integrity. They are both treat everybody with compassion and dignity, and I ask for you to support and endorse them. Thank you.
Good evening, Jordan Davis. My pronouns are she and her. I'm here to talk about upcoming judicial elections. Because what's good progressive policy when we got judges with black robe disease who want to send us to prison or throw us out on the streets? We have a very racially and experientially diverse progressive slate to cycle, and I want you to urge you to give your endorsement to them. For seat 1, Maria Evangelista, a badass Latina public defender who almost beat a mediocre-ass white dude 2 years ago and will beat a mediocre former red state prosecutor. Plus, she grew up with the LGBT community, so that's a big plus for me. Seat 18, San Francisco resident Michelle Tong. She's a public defender right now, but she's done it all, from workers' rights to immigrant justice, supporting domestic violence survivors and victims, as well as eviction prevention. You know what she hasn't done? Prosecute juveniles and adults in Marin County. Hard cancel right there. Seat 21, San Francisco resident Carrie Gold, baddest eviction defense attorney who helped implement Prop F. On criminal justice, she's more like Chesa Boudin than her opponent, a 21-year veteran prosecutor claims to be. And we really need progressive judges because our judicial system is just plain whack. Finally, I just want to say that the state party should let us make our own decisions about state senate, because even though it's like a state level position, it's also kind of a local race as well, because it's a limited constituency. And while I wish this body could had the opportunity to endorse Jackie Fielder as well as Shahed Buttar for Congress. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to call a couple more names. Susan Pfeiffer and Elizabeth Madden.
Hi, my name is Dorothy Chow Proudfoot, and I am running for San Francisco Superior Court Judge in seat 18. I'm a child of Chinese immigrants who came here for a better life, who came here with the dream of education to advance their family. I'm a proud graduate of public schools for my entire life. I'm a double bear. I went to Berkeley for undergrad, and I went to Berkeley for law school. I started my career, both my criminal prosecution career and my civil career here in San Francisco. I have over 20 years of legal experience, and my current job as an administrative law judge at the San Francisco Rent Board deals with a situation and a group of folks who are not represented most of the time. I have shown that I have moved from being a fierce advocate for whatever side I'm on to being a fair and impartial judge. You can't stack the deck, and you can't play favorites when it comes to being a judge. So my commitment is to make a decision every single day that takes into account the facts and circumstances of each individual and follows the law. I am endorsed by the last judge who ran in an open seat in San Francisco. That's Victor Huang. I am endorsed by Dale Manami, civil rights icon. I'm endorsed by Drusilla Stender-Ramey, another civil rights icon in another field that, for me, has great personal meaning, and that is gender equity, anti-gender discrimination. And I've dedicated my professional life, both my day job and my night job, to trying to protect and serve people throughout this country. And I would ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
There is no place that I would rather be here on my 46th birthday than with you wonderful people at the DCCC. I am going to say one thing that all my amazing supporters have not said. You are going to do what you are going to do. And I am going to do what I am going to do out there on the streets for the next 10 weeks. You've seen my resume. You know what I'm about. I walk the walk. I talk the talk. 20 years of doing the right thing for the right reasons. I'm not a politician. I'm not a dark shade of blue, a light shade of blue. I am not a progressive. I am not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm Ronnie Singh. I'm running for seat 21. When jurors come into my courtroom, if I am elected, when I am elected, they're going to say, that's the kind of judge we've been waiting for. When the people in the community who I've helped, when the students that come up in the world that see me teach all over San Francisco get to do a tour of City Hall or McAllister or the Hall of Justice, they'll be like, there's Ronnie Singh, that amazing teacher, and now she's a judge. I have public service in my DNA. My father is the longest standing commissioner in the history of San Francisco, over 36 years. We don't do it for politics. We do it because we love this city, the city I was born and raised in. So you can do what you want to do. I understand the political agenda. I understand the political push. And I am going to do what I need to do, and that's get on the bench. I tried to get appointed. Apparently, progressive DAs don't get appointed. So I don't want to hear about progressive, moderate, Republican, Democrat. And it's not about tenants' rights, it's about human rights. And that includes tenants' rights. So make your decision.
Thank you very much. John Jacobo, Eunice Chang, and Nick Pasquarello. Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Herman Holland. Feeling the energy. It's really wonderful to be a part of this process. native San Franciscan, 10-year public defender. Before just getting into my comments, I wanted to read a statement for somebody that wishes they could be here but could not. This is the brother by the name of Rico Hamilton. He's the coordinator for the SVIP program, that is the Street Violence Intervention Program. He'd like to share with you that I, Rico Hamilton, native of San Francisco, am in support of Michelle Tong for judge. She's an amazing person who spent time understanding San Francisco and its residents. She not only understands law on all levels, but she also understands restorative and retributive practices. Michelle has had the opportunity to work with all types of people as a public defender, which will help her have a clear and diverse view as a judge. She's also honest, practical, and for those reasons, he supports Michelle for judge. I personally have known Michelle for 10 years, doing the work on the front lines as a public defender. She works tirelessly. She gives her entire self to her work, to her clients, to seeking justice. She absolutely does not hold back at all. Anybody that has seen Michelle do a trial or even make a court appearance knows her passion for justice and knows that it has no limitations. And I have no reservations that she will bring that same ethic, those same values to the bench. I also support Maria Evangelista. I also support Ronnie Singh. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Michael Wilson, and I am a practicing attorney here in San Francisco. I'm here to ask